Hi everyone, in this video we will look at Urban Decay's new Naked Honey collection. I will swatch the new eyeshadow palette for you, give you my first impressions on the formula, and we'll also take a look at the 3 new lip plumpers. The collection also has some other things like some kits that they curate and put together, but these 2 things, the lip plumpers and the eyeshadow palette, are the heart of the collection. So if you're interested to see real swatches, then this is the video for you. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, follow Allura Beauty on Instagram. I'm going to be running a giveaway on there because we hit 1,000 followers. So make sure you are a follower before that giveaway happens to be eligible. And make sure you go check out the latest video. That's this month's What's New in Beauty video, because now that there's fall, there's a lot of fall-inspired makeup that's new on the market that I show you in that video. All right, let's get looking at Urban Decay's new Naked Honey collection. So let's go ahead and start with the eyeshadow palette, and let me know in the comment section below if you want some sort of comparison of this palette versus another palette. I have the original Naked palette that I could compare it to, and if there's another palette that I happen to have that you want swatch comparisons with, I am happy to do that. The Naked Honey palette retails for $49. Urban Decay describes this as the irresistible combo of retro glam and golden glow that makes this the one palette you'll be craving all year. The palette contains 12 exclusive shades, and the palette also comes with a vegan and cruelty-free double-ended brush. So here's what the outside of the palette looks like. I love this packaging. It looks like liquid gold or liquid like molten gold. It's really beautiful. In terms of the size, it's the same as the more recent like smoky Naked palettes. It's made of plastic, and the palette has a magnetic closure with a full-length mirror inside. Here is your dual-ended brush. On one end you have a longer bristled, slightly fluffier blending type of brush, and on the opposite end you have a shorter, denser, more thin packing brush for packing on the lid, or it's probably thin enough to be able to smudge along the lash line. And then of course your 12 new eyeshadow shades. As I always do, I will swatch these left to right with a flat eyeshadow brush from Sigma, and I apply those swatches over a layer of eyeshadow primer. So shade number 1 is Flyby. This is a satin finish ivory shade. Shade 2 is Sweet. And this is a matte neutral beige. Shade 3 is Swarm. And this is a matte, it says soft mustard. And it's the brownie kind of mustard, not a yellow mustard. Shade number 4 is Amber. And this is, it says a metallic copper. I'm going to add a little bit more to even out the side of the swatch. Ooh, layering it gives it a much richer depth there. 5 is the shade Keeper. And this is a matte mustard brown. Shade 6 is Golden. This is a shimmering rich gold. I'm going to do a second layer of that also to increase the opacity and richness of the color. 7 is Honey. Described as a metallic intense gold. This is very yellowy gold. Also going to add a second layer to that. Shade number 8 is Queen. And this is a shimmering golden brown. Again, kind of got a streaky swatch there, so I'm going to add a second layer. Shade 9 is Hive, which is a matte warm brown. Shade 10 is Drip, which is a matte warm reddish brown. 11 is HBIC. A shimmering rosy bronze. Putting a second layer of that. And shade 12 is Sting, which is a matte, deep, warm brown. All right, those are your 12 shades from the Naked Honey eyeshadow palette. Here's a look up close. I think the mattes perform the best out of these, but the metallics are super pretty too. We did have to do a bit of layering on pretty much every one of them to intensify the finish and to maybe even out some of the patchiness. But I really don't mind that, and I think practically speaking, because most of these metallic shades you'll dab on the lid, you probably will not have as noticeable a uneven or streaky finish in practical application on the eyes. And next up, there are 3 new lip plumpers. These retail for $22 each. The Honey Lip Plumper is supposed to create a light golden glow with an intoxicating scent of honey. And each of these is also scented. So the honey one is scented like honey, the cherry one smells like cherries, and the heat one is supposed to smell like spicy sweet cinnamon. The formula contains caffeine, jojoba oil, and sunflower oil to give you a smooth, intense shine with a cooling and plumping sensation that creates the appearance of fuller lips. So here is the honey shade, cherry, and heat. And for packaging, you can see that these are clear, short tubes. They have jumbo-sized doe-footed applicators that are curved, kind of like a spoon. So the cherry shade is an iridescent peachy pink sparkle. You can see these are pretty sheer. Let's layer it up. Doesn't intensify the shade much. There's Heat, which is a sheer burgundy shimmer. And Honey, which is a light golden glow. Right, here are your 3 plumper shades. All right, so my thoughts on the eyeshadow palette. I really like this eyeshadow palette. I think it is a perfect neutral palette that you can use every day, that you can use in a way that is very simple. So, you know, you can have palettes that have more intense pigmentation, more buttery smoothness, or whatnot. I'm thinking in my mind right now of the most recent Natasha Denona Metropolis palette, which if you haven't seen, I also have a swatch video of that, where the formula is a lot more rich. But the thing with the Naked palettes, and I can kind of tell once watching the Honey one, is it's the kind of palette you can keep on your vanity. You know you can grab it, it's reliable. You're not going to be spending a lot of time buffing out super intense shades or having to be really careful about how much product you picked up, because if you picked up too much product, it just gets out of hand. Things like that. It just seems like a very reliable palette. And the colors, I think, are, even though they are in the neutrals family, they are distinctly different from the other neutrals palette, especially the original palette out there. So if you have the original palette and you love it, I still think that you would really like this Naked Honey palette, and you won't have too many overlapping shades. As for the lip plumpers, they are, as you could see, quite sheer in color, so don't expect to get any sort of dramatic color out of them. I did also notice in pressing my lips together and smoothing them out, you can feel a little bit of grittiness from the sparkles. Nothing extreme, nothing super uncomfortable, but something to note. As for the plumping effect, you definitely get a tingle with this formula. So if you are sensitive to that, if you cannot tolerate that, then you do not want to be purchasing these lip plumpers, because there is definitely that distinct noticeable tingle. It lasts for several minutes. It's not just a quick one and done thing. I've always been of the opinion that lip plumping products don't actually noticeably plump up your lips. Wearing a gloss will just naturally make your lips look plumper, but if that is the kind of product that you like, then this one should fit the bill. All right, so those are my thoughts on the new Urban Decay Naked Honey items. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the description box below. I will likely do a look using this palette, and in next month's What's New in Beauty video, if I have any updates in terms of what I think, then I will let you know in that video, as I always do. I hope this video was helpful to you if you were wondering whether you should invest in this palette. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next one.